Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Hwakus and I'm joined by my friend. This week's lesson is all about my 5 senses. But before we start, let's sanitize our hands. It's important to do so that we can kill all the germs. If you don't have a sanitizer at home, please go ahead and use soap and running water. Today's lesson is all about letter O and handwriting. Let's go to page 13. Okay. We're going to practice writing letter O. Say O. 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 Off. On. Off. On. Off. Now we're going to try and write it on the blackboard. Just follow carefully with your eyes. We're going to start on top. Remember to go to your left. We're going around, down and up again. Start at the top. Remember to go to your left. Around, up and stop. Now we're going to ask our friend to help us to write a O on the board. Good. Well done. Wonderful. Can we go to page 13 to do our exercise? This exercise is all about writing the letter O. And there's an ox in the corner. Can you say ox? Ox. Now let's start at the arrow and go around and up until we join the dot. Once more, start at the arrow, go around, up and stop at the dot. And the rest of it is at the bottom lower part. There you can practice how to write your letter O. Wonderful. Can you do the second page? You can do that all by yourself now. Let's move on to page 14. There is a different exercise on there. Can you see the picture of the octopus? Octopus. It's having a beginning sound and it's O. The second one, if you say it, ostrich. What sound do you hear at the beginning? The sound is O. Wonderful. Now what you have to do is draw a picture with the sound, with the same sound. So if you see, when you say the word and you can hear the sound, oh, draw the picture next to it. But now let's go down to the bottom. There's a picture of an apple. What sound do you hear? Is it the same sound? I wonder whether you can work that out on your own. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Let's move on to page 15. Yeah, you will enjoy yourself. I can see. What do you think this picture is made of? Oh yes, it's a snail. It does not start with the same sound, but it helps you to form the letter O. So start at the arrow and follow the dots until you come to the middle. Well done. Now do the second one and the third one all by yourself. That was great.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am Peg. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Hwakus and I'm joined by my friend. This week's theme is all about the 5 senses. But before we start, let's sanitize our hands. It is very important to do so the germs can all die. But if you don't have a sanitizer at home, please go ahead and use soap and running water. Today's lesson is all about handwriting and letter N. Can we turn to page 17? Let's look at page 17. What can you see? What picture is there? Yes, I can hear you. Just say it out loud. A nest. Yes, you are right. What sound does it start with? N is the name of the letter and the sound is N. 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 Wonderful. I can hear you can say it correctly. But before we do the exercise, let's practice writing the letter N. We start at the top. Always we start at the top. It's good to make a little dot so that you can remember how to go. We start at the top, we go down, up again, and we make a hoop. Go down. Let's do another one. We start at the top, we go down, up in the same line, and make a hoop again. Wonderful. Now our friend is going to help us to write the letter N on the board. Go down, down, Noah. Go down, up again with the same line and make a little hoop. Well done. I'm so proud of you. Now let's look at the page 17. We have got the first letter written in the box. Can you please take your pencil, hold it correctly in your 3 fingers, like this, and write the letter. Start at the top, start at the arrow, go down, with the same line, go up, and make a hoop. And then you stop. Try and keep the letter writing in the box. Try and keep to the size of the letter, and you can practice this all by yourself. Hope you have enjoyed that one. Now we move on to page 18. Let's look at the pictures of page 18. I can see beautiful pictures there. And some of the pictures are starting with the N sound. Letter N. And the sound it starts with is a N. So can we go through the pictures quickly and see which ones are starting so that you can color them in when you are done. The first 2 I will do for you, and the rest of the paper you're going to do all by yourself because you are excellent. Nose. Nose. It's for nose. And the next one next to the nose is the umbrella. Can you hear the sound? N. So you need to find out which one is the beginning sound and which letter sounds the same so that you can color that in at home all by yourself. I know you can do it. Can we turn to page 19? This exercise is very important because we are reading and writing from left to right. So please remember to start on the thick line when you do this exercise. Starting on the first one, I will try and do that with you. We start with the line down. Remember to keep the crayon or your pencil in the hand until you are done on to the end of this exercise. Don't lift up your hand. Just try and keep it in on the lines. Don't move it up until you are done. Wonderful. Don't remove your hand until you are done with that line. Then we do the next one. Okay, take the line up to the right hand side. So, let's look at the pictures. I'm going to do the first one for you. There is a kettle and a cup at the end where you pour your tea inside. So when you start at the arrow, just keep your little hands on the line until you finish at the cup. Thank you so much. Do the next one with the banana up to the bunch of bananas and the baby crawling to the mother and this girl going to school. Well done. Do that all by yourself. I know you can do it. Well done.
Hi everyone, my name is Josie and I am Peg. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Humanitarian crises are all too familiar to television viewers. Civil wars that cause huge movements of refugees, worldwide pandemics, and natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis. This is the way most of us are used to seeing these heart-wrenching events, on a screen in front of us, watching passively. But what if you could step into the frame and actually feel what it's like for the individuals on the ground?
People come out of it feeling enlightened and often moved and often ready to take action. A lot of people automatically say, well, what can I do? How can I get involved?
Garbo Aurora is leading a team at the United Nations who are using cutting-edge technology to raise awareness, empathy and funds both to respond to humanitarian crises and to bolster support for a new set of sustainable development goals around the globe.
Virtual reality is the ability to really take part in a story that usually you're only a passive spectator on. And you actually get the sensation of feeling like you're being there.
By using multiple cameras that can record in all directions and software that can stitch the images together, virtual reality creates an experience that enables the viewer to see a movie from every angle, above, below, and behind.
It's exciting for the UN, to be involved in some of those early experiments of how we're trying to tell stories, make these films, and work with some of the most cutting-edge people in the industry on it.
So the UN reached out to us and connected, and we realized that there was a great opportunity here to tell some very important stories and to tell them in a way that we thought would be totally new and highly impactful. The way that I define virtual reality at this point in time is basically the hacking of your senses to convince you that you're somewhere other than where you are. Often, I think of it as a sense of vulnerability. So one of the things we've realized in some of our stories is you have a heightened sense of empathy and a heightened sense of connection as a result of that vulnerability.
That heightened sense of connection and empathy was exactly what Gabo Aurora was looking to create at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Not only to inspire leaders to take action, but also to influence donors to increase funding for disaster response efforts.
I'd started experimenting with using innovative ways of advocacy, and I started talking to a lot of different partners and people. What could we do that would be incredible? And someone said, I just came from a meeting at Samsung, and, with some of these other virtual reality headsets, wouldn't it be amazing if you got all of those elite people who could actually go to a refugee camp, or they could go to an Ebola clinic? I just really felt it would get our issues highlighted.
In addition to the screenings at Davos, virtual reality portals have been set up to view the films at high-level political forums around the world. The virtual reality film on display was Clouds Over Sidra.
Clouds Over Sidra is a short film in virtual reality about a girl named Sidra who lives in Zaatari camp, which is a Syrian refugee camp in Jordan. And it is a story about a young girl who is giving you a tour of the camp, of what it's like, what her life is like. When the film debuted in Davos, it was a sensation to everyone we showed it to. They come out of it very deeply moved. I'd say half the people who watch Clouds Over Sidra cry. And then we cut a version for UNICEF where it's face-to-face fundraisers. The way they do that is usually someone with a clipboard on the street in Europe or in different countries. So they thought, well, what if we got people to experience virtual reality on the street?
Quite sad. They don't have a good environment to stay. We try our best to help them.
Early reporting from UNICEF has shown that when using virtual reality, they've doubled the effectiveness of their fundraising efforts. This report was produced by Ben Lybrand for the United Nations.
Hi beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. In this session, we will be doing a full body stretch routine on the mat. Please remember that this is just a demonstration video, so once your body knows what it's doing, take your time and do a few more repetitions. So let's get started. So we're going to start on all fours, making sure that the shoulders are in line with the wrists so that the arms are not far out or too close to the body, and then that the hips are in line with the knees hip width apart. In this position, we're going to go into a cat-cow stretch. Inhale, bring the head towards the tailbone. And exhale, bring the hips and the head towards each other, tucking the chin in, pulling into the back. And again, inhale, head towards tailbone, arch the back. Exhale. Bring the chin in as well as the hips pulling into the back. From here, just drop your tailbone onto your heels. Reach the arms into this child pose resting position. Once you feel ready, come back up onto all fours, plant your palms, tuck your toes, and lift your hips into the sky. In this downward dog position, we want to plant the heels down into the mat and press the chest towards the legs. From here, you're going to go up onto your toes. You're going to bring the hips forward, zip the core, roll the spine all the way until the hips reach the floor. Shoulders are pulling down and back. Head is up in the seal pose. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees, take the tailbone back into your heels. And we go one more time. Come onto all fours. Cat-cow, inhale, arch the back. Exhale, pull into the back, opening up the back. Inhale, arch, exhale, cat. And then plant the palms, plant the toes, lift into a downward dog. Inhale, up onto the toes, roll the body through all the way back to the mat. Open up the chest. And exhale, come back to child's pose, where you can take a moment to breathe and relax. Beautiful. Thank you for joining me in this session. Don't forget to breathe and happy stretching.
On the Gold Coast of West Africa lies the peaceful and diverse nation of Ghana. I'm pretty close right now to the geographical center of the Earth. It is also one of the last pockets for elephants in the wilds of West Africa.
Every country in the world just about has cattle, sheep, goats, horses, donkeys. But it's only Africa that has the real megafauna, the charismatic stuff which people in the rest of the world want to see. The passion that the staff have for the job.
There's value to a bird which brings birders to a place like this. I mean, this is a birding paradise. We see an intrinsic appreciation and joy from seeing the wildlife out here, but not everybody does.
You can't get to Moli and then will not be passionate about what we do, because you'll be the only one left. Everybody is passionate.
The only worthwhile war, the war against destruction, the war against loss, the war for peace, for balance, for inclusion.
It is out of my way. Buffaloes, elephants, tigers, atavis are still in existence.
If Mole fails, then Ghana is without wildlife.
Join me as we journey to the untamed wilderness of northern Ghana to meet these last defenders.
The people within the law enforcement agencies don't really know. You're talking about a roan antelope. Somebody thinks it's just like a goat.